Hi guys, Trevor here from Caravan Newbies. Tonight's video is a little bit different to what we've done in the past and hence the introduction. We're at Carol's driver training school because Pauline's doing a towing course through the Caravan and Motorhome clubs. What they do is they sublet it out to driver trainers. Carol can teach you anything from 7.5 tonne all the way up to class 1 driving licences, towing vehicles, trailers and everything else. So what we're going to do, Carol and myself, and we've sat down, we've had a conversation, and we're going through different license groups, and there's a little bit about fines that you could incur if you actually drive the vehicle without the license that you, or drive the vehicle that you want to drive without the license required. So don't panic about it, guys. It does seem a lot to take in, a little bit like the weights and everything of caravans and cars and towing vehicles. Do not panic, guys. If you've got any questions, leave them below. I'll endeavour to answer them. If I can't answer them, we'll get Carol to answer them for you. And if that means that I've got to drive all the way out to Carol and ask her the question and redo a video, that's what we do, just for you guys. Enjoy the video. It's about 20-25 minutes long, and please don't think I don't understand. If you don't understand, ask questions, and don't be put off by it either, guys. There's a lot of good things out of this video as well. Please enjoy.
Can I use my notes on the table?
Can do. Morning, guys. It's Trevor here from Caravan Newbies. I'm with Pauline on a towing course here at Carol's Driver Training in Lutterworth. No, we're not. We're in Market Harbour.
Yes, we are.
I knew we were somewhere. Guys, this is Carol. Carol owns the firm, and she works in conjunction with the Caravan Motorhome Club, providing these courses. So Carol, basically what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is just get an insight as to what's involved with these courses for the students, how they go about booking the courses, what they're going to learn on the courses, how long the course is, and anything else that you feel that they need under legislation or anything like that. So,
Right.
Yes.
Okay, well, as a quick introduction, the courses are available from novice to experienced instructor. Done it wrong. Should we do it again?
Go
Right, the course is available for the novice trader and the experienced ones, do vary in length. We also do motorhome courses. It'd be nice to see more women into the industry because men seem to predominate the whole industry and everything seems to be male orientated. But what happens if your partner or your husband goes ill? Who's going to tow the caravan?
Exactly, this is a question we ask a lot, and this is why I've suggested, and we spoke about it with Pauline, as to why she should do the course.
And she's learning an awful lot. She's learning how to manoeuvre the vehicle, reversing forward, how to hitch it. She's also learning about legalities, how to load it properly, whether she had the licence in force. For example, pre-97, you had your BE licence and 7.5 tonne licence. After January 97, they took that straight off of you.
So, regarding the 1997 rule and the changes to the driving licences, how does that affect people now?
Well, basically, they can only drive anything up to 3.5 tonnes. So if you've got a motorhome, for example, that weighs 3.8 tonne, you have to do a 7.5 tonne course. And then again, if you want to tow a trailer, if it's over 3/4 of a tonne, then you've got to do what we call a BE course or a C1E course.
So with the BE course, towing a trailer, obviously a caravan is classed as a trailer. Do you have to do the BE course to pull the trailer?
Well, yes, because the caravan is quite over 3/4 of a tonne. So it's the plating of the caravan that
caravans are going up tonne and a half.
Well, I tow a caravan 1.9 tonne.
Yeah, and my caravan's 1.5. So
well over the limit on this.
So what about axles? The amount of axles, does that have any implication on what extra tests or anything they should do?
No, it just comes under the BE licence, but it does affect obviously the amount of weight you're carrying.
Okay.
The smaller the caravan, if you're really lucky, you might get a little flat caravan that might be plated 7.5 tonne. Then you could tow that.
We do see these smaller caravans now, these little bubbles that are coming in at 800 kilos and things like that. I couldn't imagine that there'd be a very comfortable holiday for more than 2 or 3 nights, but...
Well, no, I wouldn't want one either, but even 800 kilos, you still need the BE licence.
Yeah, because you're over the 3/4 of a tonne.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and this is where a lot of people do not realise the legalities of it all.
So do the Caravan and Motorhome Club, do they offer this course, the BE course and the 7.5 tonne course?
No, I'm afraid not. They just give you a practical caravan course and a motorhome course, so those with the current licence will know how to handle it.
Okay.
So you'd have to come to somebody like me that I deliver these purposely for people to get these licences.
Okay, so if anybody's interested in getting any of these licences added on, and as Carol and myself have already said, the importance of your partner being able to tow the caravan that you've got or drive the motorhome you've got, it all comes down to illness and things like that. Because if my partner, my wife, at the minute, if I became ill, we'd have to leave our caravan wherever it is. She can drive the car, but she can't tow the caravan. Hopefully, after this course today, this weekend, she'll have this done. So, getting onto the courses, Carol, so the motorhome course, why would somebody come on a motorhome course with you through the Caravan Club?
Learning how to manoeuvre it in confined areas, learning how to drive it on the road.
Just because of the size of the vehicle?
Just because of the size of the vehicle. People think it's like an oversized car. Well, it's not. It's more than an oversized car. You've invested £50,000, £60,000 into quite a large vehicle, and if it's over 3.5 tonne, you're on the 7.5 tonne category. Its position on the road is totally different to a car. For example, if you're too near the curb, what about the overhanging trees and the lamppost? You might find you will hit them.
Exactly.
Turning out of junctions, you can't just pull out like a car. You might need both sides of the road to do it with.
So how long is that course?
It's usually on a day.
So it's a 1 day. So
it's a 1 day course.
People getting into motorhome. What about smaller motorhomes? Would you recommend that people actually book a course if they've never driven anything bigger than their car?
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Strongly recommend it, because you learn to at least manoeuvre it in a confined space.
Yeah.
It's learning positioning and things like that. It's all different.
Well, obviously, guys, something I forgot to mention, and a lot of you guys know that I'm a Class 1 lorry driver. Carol is also a Class 1 lorry driver and the instructor at Carol's Driver Training, the owner of Carol's Driver Training. So the important thing, the legalities of things. So towing the trailer, getting my BE licence. If I approached you to get a BE licence, what would I need and how much, what sort of costs are we looking at and how long time-wise?
The length of time will vary according to experience. For a complete and utter novice who's never towed in their life, I'd recommend 2 days with a test on the third, because there's a lot involved. You've got to learn how to manoeuvre it on the road, manoeuvre the vehicle in a confined space, reversing obviously, and of course learning how to hitch it safely. Because a lot of people think, oh, you just whack it on the back and that's done. It's not true. There's so many safety factors. If you don't get it right, you can get seriously hurt.
So this is a course with a test at the end, a bit like a driving test, pass or fail?
Exactly like a driving test. The test is about an hour and a half long.
Right.
So it's a lot longer than a car because of the responsibilities of towing.
Okay. And what sort of price do we look at for people?
For a complete novice, you're looking around about £800. Bear in mind there's 2 days and you're out 8 hours every day with a test on the third. Those with a bit more experience who can do a bit of reversing, a day with a test on the next day, you're talking about £550.
So if we've done our BE course, we've done all the reversing and things like that, what would be the necessity for us to do the caravan towing course with the Caravan and Motorhome Club? Will we need to do that?
No, because we teach you everything you need to know on the BE course.
So we're actually omitting one of the courses.
So you're saving money in effect, because
Yeah.
you've already learned how to reverse it, because we go into it in quite big detail. So when you come to the Caravan Club for a course on how to reverse it, we've already done it. We've already taught you how to hitch it. We've already taught you the legalities. One advantage you do get with the BE course is we teach you how to drive it on the road. The Caravan course from the Caravan Club, you do not drive it on the road.
Okay, so there's no test on the caravan course.
No test on the Caravan course, but we issue a certificate to say you've actually completed the course, and you can get a discount on your insurance.
So pretty much the same as yourself and me, when we apply for insurances for the caravan, we get a discount because we're Class 1 drivers, we're experienced towers.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the motorhome, 1 day, just learning basically about the size difference on the road positioning, and obviously heights.
One of the things you've got to bear in mind.
Yeah, this is a big thing. I've noticed this. I've seen people approaching bridges, even low trees, with their caravans.
Well, I mentioned women driving.
Yeah, because they just don't think about the height of the vehicle.
It's not only height, but also width.
Yeah.
You go into town, your motorhome may be, 7.5 foot wide? What do you do if you've got a 6'6" width restriction?
No, you're not going down that road.
No, you're certainly not.
That's not a road we want.
And you've got your chicanes as well.
Okay.
You've got to think
So, the guys with the smaller motorhomes that want to drive the bigger motorhomes, we're going up like 7.5 tonne.
Yes.
So, if we wanted to do a 7.5 tonne course, how does that work?
Very much like similar to the BE,
Okay.
but it depends if you've got the provisional entitlement now. Because the 7.5 tonne comes under the lorry category, which it should do because the sizes so vary in length, you have to do a medical to make sure you're fit to drive them.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into the categories of becoming a lorry driver.
Correct, which is where the 7.5 tonne is.
Right. So
you have to do the medical. Once you've done the medical, you have to do the theory and hazard perception. So you've got to be aware of the legalities of it. And once you've done those, then you can go on to the C1 course. The C1 course is only about a day and a half, and the cost is about 550 quid.
Which is very reasonable.
It's quite a good
very
price.
Very reasonable.
And
especially once you've got your 7.5 tonne licence, you're open up to a new industry. So you don't have to work in Tesco's or any of the other supermarkets.
Shelves.
Yeah, you can get out and become a driver if that's your want. So,
and of course, we've got to watch the weight of the motorhome. Say, for example, your motorhome weighs 10 tonne. You're now in the category C licence, which is a proper lorry, which is what we've got out here.
all right, so
motorhomes vary. You've got to look at the plating on the vehicle you're purchasing. So if it's over 7.5 tonne, say 8 tonne, which some of them are, you've got to get a category C. So you have to get your medical, your theory hazard perception, then go for a category C course, which is a lot bigger. But that does give you automatically your 7.5 tonne licence as well.
Right.
But because it's a lot bigger, more involved, the cost is a lot more. You're talking close to nearly £1,300 for a course.
And how long is the?
That's a full week.
That's a full week.
Yeah.
So what we do Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday, test on the Friday. Pass your test, you've got your category C licence.
Drive any motorhome you want.
Exactly.
And you've opened yourself up to go into the haulage industry.
So you open up job opportunities, and some people, depending on where you work, but I've got a few companies that are earning something like 28,000 a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is not a bad income.
No, it's not a bad income. So can we go any further than that? Obviously we can, because we're both sitting here and we know that we can go further.
We certainly can. When you're towing a motorhome, you need possibly a C1 or CE licence.
Okay, can you explain what they are?
Right, the E stands for trailer. So if you've got the C, which is rigid, and then you put the E on it, you've got the rigid plus a trailer, which comes into the Arctic category.
Oh, right.
Or you can do the C1 if you've got a motorhome with a little car on the back. Remember, the plating that you can maximum tow is 7.5 tonne.
Right, going back to the BE licence.
Going back to the BE licence. So what's the average weight of a car now? 800 kilos, 900 if you've got a smallish? Still overweight. So you need to get your BE licence, even more important. But if you're doing the 7.5 tonne and you're towing a car, then you need the C1 plus E with the trailer. Vice versa, if you're doing the rigid and you want to tow a car on the back, now I've seen loads of motorhomes towing a car on the back, and I often wonder, are they legal? Because they technically should have the full Arctic licence to drive it.
This is obviously something I've thought about as I've been driving up and down the road. And the other thing is, in the UK at the minute, we can tow a car behind our motorhome with an A-frame. Quite legally, although
providing the weight of the car doesn't exceed 750 kilos.
Exactly. This is a minefield, and there'll be people out there now looking at this going, I don't ever want to pull a Caravan or anything like that. It's not a minefield, is it? This is just about having the correct licence for the vehicle that you're driving and for the trailer you're pulling. So do you get many people phone up and just inquire as to what licences they do need to pull this Caravan, that motorhome with that car, and all
quite often, because it's so confusing. People look on the internet And to be honest, the DVSA are not very clear on their specifications at all, and it is a minefield. So quite often they phone me up and I try and explain to them. Sometimes I bring them down to the office because it's easier to talk face to face. Just to make sure that we've got the proper legalities in place.
Obviously there's going to be links in below about all the places you can get these information. But I'm going to be posting Carol's information, all the information for her website and everything else like that, telephone numbers. So if you're living around the Market Harbour area, so Coventry, Birmingham, maybe Corby,
Peterborough, Northampton, Leicester.
We've come up from Milton Keynes today. Obviously it goes up to Northampton. Nottingham's not far to come here, is it?
About half hour.
So, you know, we're looking at, so this would be sort of an area, Carol's quite central in the country. And I'll back up what Carol says. If you go onto the government website, so that's just www.gov.uk, and look at all the weights and things like that, you'll look at them and it's so complicated. What you need to do is just concentrate on what you're going to be pulling, what you're going to be driving and things like that. And if you're not sure, companies like Carol's will give you the information, and there's an opportunity to come along and take the courses up here. Waiting list for courses, are they long?
If you're booking through the Caravan Club, I'm sure they can fit you in sometime this year.
Yeah, I know we've had about a 3-month wait for Pauline to come and do her course, but that was just because of the location. And obviously you've changed locations as well yourself.
Yes, I had to put a postponement on it all this year because we moved from just outside Wellingborough to over here, and of course we've had to get time to set up and get the reversing area and the office and everything all in place.
So how many courses a year do you run, Carol?
Off the top of my head, next year we're running from April through to September, and courses are every week.
Wow, so basically the holiday season. So
exactly that.
Caravan Motorhome Club is March to November, so you're running the same sort of time.
That's it. Just phone the Caravan Club up, book in, tell them you want to come along to us, and we'll get you sorted.
Brilliant. So, and obviously everything else we've spoken about, so the extra licences, information that you need. Something I overheard in a caravan shop, and I'm not disrespecting any caravan salespeople or anything like that. But you do get the scrupulous people who just want to make that sale at the end of the year.
Yes.
Can I drive this? Can I tow this with my car? Yes, you can, sir. How many times have you had people turn up with a vehicle and say, this is what I've got to tow that?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I even had it with a motorhome. I was looking at buying a motorhome a couple of years ago in Cornwall. They had this nice big motorhome show. I went along there, looked at this nice motorhome, and I looked at it and I thought, that's got to be about 10 tonne. So I spoke to a young lady who said, oh, you can drive it on a car licence. And so I asked her, I said, what's the plating of it? She said, what's that? And I said, well, it's its maximum authorised mass, MAM as we call it in the industry. Oh, I don't know, I'll go and ask somebody. And a guy came along and said, yes, you can drive this on a car licence. I said, I want to know what its plate. So he got it out. It came out as 9.8 tonne. I said, you need the C1, the category C licence on that. That's over the 7.5 tonne bracket. How can you tow that, or drive that, on this car licence?
So the motorhomes that Carol's actually talking about are the big motorhomes you see on site, look like a double-decker bus, £100,000 worth, absolutely beautiful looking motorhomes. This is what we're looking at. The other thing, Carol, we see, and we're right on top of the NEC show at the Caravan Motorhome Club show at the NEC.
Yeah.
We're coming up and people are going to be looking at all these motorhomes, and they're also going to see the articulated caravans, if that's what you want to call them, so trailers. Yeah. What sort of licence do they need to drive that? Apart from the big Ram, Dodge Jeeps and things like that every man wants.
Again, it depends on what they're plated for, but if it's under 7.5 tonne, you need a BE licence.
Even though it's articulated?
Yeah, because articulation is the trailer.
Right.
So depending on what its weight, it might even be on a C1E, which is 7.5 tonne and trailer.
Okay.
Or if it's over that way, over there.
So people don't, you know, they have this misconception. They look at these things and they think that looks like an articulated lorry. I have to have a Class 1 driving licence to drive that.
If it's plated over 7.5 tonne,
But if it's below 7.5 tonne,
you need a C1E.
so they don't need their Class 1 licence. They can get a 7.5 tonne licence, which some of them may already have. Although, again, guys, if you've never towed anything like this, of course,
It's a lot of money to go out and play with no experience or any help.
Yeah.
There's a lot of damage to be done. How much would one of these cost?
They're going about £80,000 just for the trailer, and then you've got to look at that Dodge Ram 5 litre.
£100,000 worth of equipment.
And some.
And to go down the road and have no experience how to drive it.
Well, yeah, actually. But yeah, the guys are going to see this. You've been to the NEC and seen the Caravan and Motorhome Club show there. They're going to see these and they're going to think, I would really love that. And this is the ultimate luxury. And the ultimate luxury comes with a price. And the ultimate luxury has to have a licence to drive it.
It certainly does.
So what else are the guys going to learn on the course this weekend? So obviously manoeuvring.
Manoeuvring, loading, how to load the vehicle safely. Obviously you can't just chuck everything on the Caravan. You put everything on the nose and what happens? You get overweight on the nose. Put it on the back. You then tilt the Caravan up. Then you get an imbalance in towing and you find that a lot of caravans weaving down the road, mostly due to bad loading or not understanding it, making sure you keep it in the confines of it. So make sure it's not overweight as well, looking at the plating. And if you buy a Caravan, don't forget you can upgrade the plating.
How does that work, upgrading plating?
Well,
why would we want to do that?
Depending on what you're carrying, I've got a Caravan, I've upgraded mine because I like to carry a lot of awnings with it.
Okay.
So I've upgraded mine to 1900 kilos to allow for the weighting of it. All you've got to do is, wherever you buy the Caravan from, say, I want to upgrade my Caravan, replate it. They apply to where you got the Caravan from. Mine's an Eldest, so they apply to Eldest. Okay. They then get the certificate. It costs about 50 quid. Stick it on the Caravan, job done.
So £50. Some people think that's £50. The caravanning industry has cost me this much, this much, this much. It always seems to be cost. A legality thing here, and obviously with the industry that we're in, Carol, weights and things like that are very important. And £50 for having your caravan upgraded so you can carry more weight. What's the average fine for being overloaded?
£1,000.
£1,000.
And points on your licence.
All right, so it's going to affect your insurance?
And insurance could affect it, it might not be insured. Plus the fact if you're overweight, those, as we know, could stop you there and then and make you unload the unnecessary weight. And what do you do with your equipment? You've got to take it off the Caravan.
And you can't leave it on the side of the road because
they
won't allow you to.
Exactly, so you're stuck.
So guys, I mean, the big thing about these courses, and you need to remember the legalities of it. Carol and myself have been talking a lot about the legalities of things. And you'll probably be looking and think, this is going to cost us this much, this is going to cost us this much. One example, one fine, overloaded, £1,000. And then you have to unload that, get that weight right.
Before they let you go.
Then you've got your court case and your points on your licence. So this is something you really need to be thinking about. So what sort of time do they spend learning on weights and things like that? Weight distribution on the caravans and on the course now?
Well, we spend the morning doing all the legalities.
Right.
And we have demonstrations as well. And obviously go out there with the caravans. We haven't got loaded caravans here, but we can show you the caravans that the Caravan Club has given us and give you examples how to load it. Right.
So as much as you don't want to hear this, guys, this is all part of caravanning. Don't be put off by any of this. This is nothing,
great fun.
Nothing to scare anybody, really, is it? It's, if you just ask somebody, that's all you got to do, just ask somebody. You'll always see somebody on a caravan site and they'll have a ream of information that you can take away. Here, if you get it from a company like Carol's, you're going to get the correct information, the right information, and you are going to stay legal. And let's face it, guys, nobody's going to want to go out there and break the law intentionally. And if you was that, the question I'd always ask is, would you want your children to be involved in that accident?
No.
So the training courses will benefit yourselves, your family, and other road users.
And your pocket.
Exactly. So, the course, back to the course. So we've done manoeuvring, we've done the legalities, and we've done the load distribution and everything else.
We'll also teach you how to hitch up safely.
All right.
A lot of people come along and think, how difficult is it to put it on the back of a car or whatever you're towing with? There's a lot more to it than what you think. If you haven't hitched it up properly and you haven't ensured it's on the tow hitch, you go to pull away, what happens to your caravan?
It goes the opposite way.
It goes the opposite way. And how much have you spent on your caravan?
Well, mine was quite an expensive caravan, and we spent £25,000 on ours before you put anything in it.
Exactly that. And to see that disappear or get damaged or roll over, it's a lot of money to lose. And don't say insurance will pay out, because they'll only pay X amount. And if you're found to be negligent in hitching up, you might find insurance won't pay. We all know what insurance companies are like.
Yeah, they don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay, so if they can find a way out.
Well, while we're talking about insurance companies and everything, Carol, and we're going to go over this because we've already hit on this. Carol and myself, we get a discount on our insurance because we're Class 1 lorry drivers. And
a member of the Caravan Motorhome Club as well.
And we've done this through, and there's lots of places you can get your insurance. Myself, we use Caravan Guard through the Caravan and Motorhome Club, so we get that discount and having that licence. People that have done this course, do they get a discount?
They do get a discount. They get a certificate and they get a discount on the insurance. But not only discount on the insurance, I'm going abroad for 2 weeks touring. You get discount at your caravan club, you get discount on the ferry trips.
Just because you've done a towing course?
Done a towing course and you're a member of the caravan club.
Okay.
So there's discounts all the way through the board.
So for a little outlay, there's a lot of return.
Speculate to accumulate.
Exactly, and that I totally agree with that. Guys, I hope we haven't scared you off. I really do. This is not what this vlog's about. This is all about promoting towing courses. The reason we're going to do them, obviously, if your partner's ill and you can't tow the caravan, what are you going to do with that caravan? And a lot of you might be sitting there saying, my recovery company will return that back to my home. Some of the recovery companies will.
Yeah, but when will those that do? When will you get it back? How long is that caravan going to be left on that site? Is it going to be there for a week before they pick it up? Is the caravan site going to have space to store it for that week? How much it's going to charge you to store it for that week? Whereupon, if you can get in the car and drive it home, you've got it back the same day.
I didn't realise, and I've just learned something there myself, guys. I didn't realise that if they was recovering your caravan, they wouldn't do it there and then that day.
Not necessarily. It's all down to availability, isn't it?
So they don't treat that as importantly as they would a breakdown.
No.
So
unless, of course, you're in a vulnerable position, like on a motorway where you've broken down. But then again, you might have to get a specialist in. If your insurance doesn't cover it, you might have to get a specialist in. Now, for example, if one of my trucks break down, to tow that in, and you'll probably be on the same sort of company to tow yours in, it's a £400 trip, depending on how far you're being towed in. That's a lot of money to be towed in.
And I understand that these companies, they won't pay before they actually unhook whatever they're towing in. So,
unless you've got a special account, which you and I know you
Yeah.
won't have.
So, I mean, I've done this before. I've broken down in the lorry and the lorry's been recovered, and the company...
And how long have you waited for the recovery?
Well, it's been 2 or 3 hours because it's been on the motorway, and then they've recovered the vehicle back to its base, but they won't unhook it until they've been paid for the recovery. And I know that.
Exactly.
Because obviously these recovery companies, they need to make their money. Is this something, you know, we've touched on this, yeah. Some companies will recover your caravan. What if you're with a company that won't recover your caravan? What are we going to do? Obviously, you've got to learn to tow a caravan really, really quickly, or hit on a very big expense.
Exactly. It's not worth it. Do the course, get it done, and in the event, you're covered. That's right, it wouldn't hurt if you're going to do a long journey. Like, as I say, I'm going abroad for 2 weeks. I'm going to share the driving with my partner. I don't want to spend 12 hours in the day driving it. Tiredness. So it's nice if 2 of you drive, you can venture out, you go further afield, share the drive, go and tour what I'm doing. I'm going down through France, Spain and Italy. Couldn't do it on my own.
No.
So it's nice to have a co-driver.
And this is the reason why Pauline's doing the course as well, you know, to help out. Because our intention is to go abroad. We were supposed to go on board this year. As a lot of you guys that follow us know, we've just got a new puppy. She can't get her passport for another 8-9 weeks. But once you've got her passport, we can go. Unfortunately, our holiday's in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, my dog's got her passport, so I've already done that.
Well, mine's only a little puppy. So what we've got to do is, this year we're going to stay in the UK. There is a vlog coming out later. It's all about Jess, who's my puppy. She's a little border collie. And it's basically, some of you saw photographs of Jess when we first got her. It's how she's progressed now. She's 14 weeks old this week. And we've done a vlog of her getting bigger. So people that have been watching her and just watching for Jess, you're going to be seeing that vlog come out later on. And you'll be quite surprised how big she's actually got. She's not here today, obviously, because of the safety of vehicles moving around and her only being a puppy. She is quite clever, but she's not clever enough not to run after a cat.
I bring my dog into work sometimes, but mine's a lot older, German Shepherd, smart, and she's been trained. I used to take her to work in the trucks when I drove them. And she's got a passport. I've got a daughter with Down syndrome. So going on the holiday with a Caravan is absolutely brilliant. She loves it. I've got all the necessary awnings. We're so looking forward to it.
I hope you enjoy it all.
I certainly will do. Can't
Thank
wait.
you very much for that, Carol. What we're going to do now, guys, we're going to have a quick walk around with Carol. So I'm going to put a high vis on as well, and we're going to walk around the yard, see what the guys are up to. Carol can give us a quick insight as to what they're doing at any one point. What is it? This is their second day, so they were here all day yesterday doing some manoeuvring. What have they got on the schedule for today?
Well, they're doing some, probably rehearse some of the hitching and unhitching and more manoeuvring, because the hardest part about towing is reversing.
Exactly, yeah.
So they're doing more and more reversing until they're confident in their ability to do it.
Yeah. And then, do they have a test at the end of today, or is it?
No, but they get a certificate to prove they've done the course.
Brilliant. So we're going to have a look around the yard and
there we are.
We'll go around. Oh.
I have a certificate. Once they've completed, they'll have one of these certificates to show they've done a course.
Everyone loves a certificate.
Yeah, and they can frame it, put it on the wall, and again use it to get the insurance down.
Exactly, that's the way to go.
All right.
Thanks ever so much.
Thank you very much.
So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you really liked us, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, do like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please add them into the comments below. And in our next video, you'll actually be seeing me completing and taking part in my towing course. See you soon.